Hey everybody, it's Jeff here at Fatboy Farms. Hope you're all having a good day. Today I just wanted to talk about something that's been kind of noodling in my head about what a homestead actually is. You know, we see all the time on TV, other YouTube channels, where, uh, you know, 50 acres, lots of birds, big gardens, other animals, goats, sheep, whatever. Uh, but you know, that's great for them. But hey, if you're like me, you're sitting here thinking, well, I don't have any of that. Can I still call myself a homesteader? Well, so I looked into this, and the answer is actually yes. So, the word homestead has an image attached to it, like the little house in the prairie type thing where you're out in the middle of nowhere and you've got lots of land and, uh, you know, sure, that's one version of it, but that's not mine and probably not yours. The legal definition of a homestead, and I looked it up because, I'm a guy, so we don't normally look things up and read the definitions, but the legal definition basically is just that your primary residence. That's it. It doesn't have to have a garden, it doesn't have to have animals, it doesn't have to make money, it doesn't have to anything. It's just the home and land around it that you live on. Um, and the reason I was wondering about this, because in other videos I get on and I say, hey, this is Jeff here at Fatboy Farms on the Marshall Homestead. So, hey, I'm glad to know I can actually call what I have a homestead. So, the definition doesn't say anything about how many acres, doesn't say anything about livestock or off-grid power or anything. So for most of us then, we're going to be good. So where did we get the idea that we need to be off-grid to be and self-sufficient to have a homestead? Well, it came from the Homestead Act of 1862, where the government gave people 160 acres to go free land if they improve it and live on it for 5 years. Well, that's pretty cool. I would love it. I don't know about you, but I would love it if the government would just say, hey, here's 160 acres, go live off of it, improve the land. Perfect, huh? Well, guess what? We're not in 1862 anymore. The government doesn't do that. So somewheres along the way, the word homestead became a gatekeeping term. Like, oh, you only have a quarter of an acre? You're not a real homesteader. You buy meat from a store? Well, that's not real homesteading. And honestly, that's just nonsense, based on the definition of a homestead. So here's what I think a homestead is, and you can disagree with me, and that's fine. But let me know in the comments. But to me, a homestead is a mindset. It's a choice. It's deciding that you're going to take a little bit of responsibility for things that your family needs instead of relying on somebody else all the time for it. Sorry, just making sure Cooper is over there and not run off anywhere. You want to grow some tomatoes on your patio, you want to preserve your own jam, you want to collect rainwater for your garden, bake bread instead of buying it at the store. That's all homesteading. It's not about everything. It's not about doing everything yourself. It's about doing something yourself. It's about moving the needle just a little bit in the direction of self-reliance. That's it. Now, you know what my homestead looks like. I have 9.5 acres here in upstate New York, and I have a small garden behind me that for the last year we've watched it grow and watched it fail and lots of different things with the woodchucks and the bugs on the eggplants last year and lots of different things. Have a raised bed back there. As you remember, I wasn't real impressed with the raised bed last year, but hey, we're going to try it again, and I think we're probably going to add another one somewhere along the line. So here on the homestead at Fatboy Farms, I don't produce all my own food. I probably would be capable, but I just don't have the desire, I guess, to do all of that, at least right now. So we have a small garden. We supplement all of our food during the summer, at least, and I do freeze some for winter. Uh, and, you know, all of that helps out, and I'm learning. I'm learning to do stuff. This year, I'm hoping to learn how to can. Um, we have a we have a store where I can buy bulk meats, chicken and stuff. So I'm hoping to even learn how to can that this year, so that we can rely on that more instead of the freezer. Sorry, just looking at my notes here to make sure I don't get too far off track, because I can do that. Um, so anyway, we've been learning the last couple of years, on how to grow things. Previous video this year we did, with the help of Dakota from Coda Bear TV. We went ahead and scooped out the top layer of the sod that was here, to get down and get that out of the way, and we put in some topsoil and some compost. Got it all tilled up, so we're ready to go. I've got to get it raked out a little more, but it's just about taking a little bit of responsibility for your own thing. And there's a whole other layer to this. There's something in the Bible, Genesis chapter 2 verse 15, that says God put man in the Garden of Eden. He put man in the Garden of Eden to take care of the garden, to cultivate the garden, to take care of it and grow his own food. And I know Eden was a lot nicer than anything that was in my garden. Trust me. But the principle is still the same. We're made to work the land, to tend to things, to be stewards of what we've been given. You don't need a Bible scholar to feel that, right? Something inside of us just feels right when we're out working in the dirt, working with our hands. Just watching something grow that you've planted, and it gives you that connection. It gives you a connection. That's what homesteading really is about, is just the connection to your land. Anyway, if you're just finding this channel, I'm Jeff at Fatboy Farms, and we're just here trying to figure things out, learning along the way, one season at a time. And if that sounds like your kind of thing, I'd love for you to follow and subscribe, and just provide any tips that you might have along the way. And we're going to learn about this still together. So here's the bottom line. You don't need to wait till you have a lot of land. You don't need to wait until you can afford a farm. You don't need to quit your job and go off grid. You can start right where you are with what you've got. Doesn't matter if it's a quarter of an acre. You can put in a little garden. So here's 3 things that you can do this week to start homesteading. Number 1 is just grow something. If you've got a patio where you can go to your local greenhouse or big box store and buy a patio tomato plant, go ahead and do it. Put the tomato plant out on your patio. Get a garden box and start some lettuce or some radishes or something, whatever you like to eat, but just get it started. There's no better time than the present. 2, try and learn a new skill. Canning, make bread, make some soap, or whatever interests you. Just pick one and try it. And number 3 is start thinking differently. Stop seeing yourself as just a consumer and start seeing yourself as a producer, even if it's just a little bit. That's it. That's homesteading. It's not about the size of your property. It's about the size of your commitment to take care of yourself and your family a little bit more each day. So let me know in the comments, what does homesteading mean to you? Do you consider yourself a homesteader? I'd love to hear your story. Excuse me, I think I swallowed a bug. If you found this helpful, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And until next time, I'm going to go start and get some peas and beans planted back here and see what we can get going. Have a great day, and thanks for stopping in.